Steelers fans, we are in a sub-battle this week with our rivals here at Chat Sports, Ravens Rundown, and they think that they're going to win this rematch. We beat them in a sub-battle a couple weeks ago. They want revenge. They're not doing too great right now. We've got a pretty good lead, but we need to bury these guys. We need to embarrass these guys so they never challenge us or Steeler Nation again. So if you haven't subscribed yet, you love the black and gold, and you hate the Baltimore Ravens, go ahead and subscribe to Steelers Talk right now. What's good, Steeler Nation? My name is Jack Sperry, and this is Steelers Talk. We have a great show lined up for you today, and we're going to be talking all about offensive coordinator Matt Canada. I'm going to be revealing this week's poll results, and then we're also going to be breaking down a couple of your comments detailing what you guys think about Matt Canada. And then in the second half of the show, I am going to be breaking down why I think the Steelers should still fire Matt Canada at the end of the season. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the poll results from this week for a poll question that asks, what grade do you give offensive coordinator Matt Canada since the bye week? And it seems like the consensus is around a C grade. So, okay, not fantastic, better than it was before for sure, but it seems like the consensus is that he's still not a very good offensive coordinator. But let's get right into your comments here. The first one comes from Gibby Gibson, who says, offense has been moving extremely well since the bye. Main reasons we don't get 3 touchdowns a game is because of player mistakes like penalties and missed assignments. Canada has done well enough to earn himself a prove-it year. Now, I'm not sure that he's earned himself a prove-it year yet. He needs to keep things going, and he needs to even make more adjustments here towards the end of the season for him to earn another season. There's still been a lot of bad play calling, a lot of bad play design, and it's still showing up on film, so I'm not sure he's earned that opportunity to get another chance. But at the end of the day, I do agree that the offense has been a lot better since the bye. All right, guys, go in the comments section right now and tell me who would you like to see as the next Steelers offensive coordinator. Later in the show, I'm going to be revealing my list of guys that I would accept as the next OC in Pittsburgh. And this is also the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever there's an ad that comes up here, go ahead and go to the pinned comment and answer this question. All right, now let's get into the second question that comes from Twin Gems, or response, not question. She says, average. He has yet to find a way to incorporate the most dominant offensive threat we have acquired, and that's George Pickens. What was he drafted for if we're not going to maximize his skills? And Twin Gems, I completely agree with you. This is one of the biggest things one of the biggest gripes I have with Matt Canada is that he's not utilizing George Pickens enough. Pickens is a future superstar in the National Football League, in my opinion. And if you're not utilizing him, if you're not designing your offense around that kind of talent, I just don't know. I have to question your competency and your ability to design an offense around your personnel. All right, guys, it is time for a word from our sponsor today at Rocket Money. Are you wasting money on subscriptions that you don't even know that you're paying for? 80% of people have subscriptions that they forget about from time to time, and maybe for you it's a unused Amazon Prime account, maybe it's a Hulu account that you're not really using all that much, but for a lot of people, they have a bunch of these subscriptions that they're paying for and they don't even know they're paying for. There's this great app that I use that helps me track all of my expenses, and because of it, I no longer waste money on subscriptions I don't even use. You might have heard of it. It's called Rocket Money, and it's formerly known as Truebill. The app shows all of your subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you don't know you were paying for. You may even find out that you've been double charged for a subscription. And all you have to do to cancel a subscription is press cancel, and Rocket Money is going to take care of the rest. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money right now. Go to rocketmoney.com/Steelers Talk to help support the channel and also earn yourself this is a way that you can definitely earn yourself a couple more $100, guys. We know inflation, it's a burden on everyone's pocketbook right now. So if you go to rocketmoney.com/Steelers Talk, you can help support us here at Steelers Talk while also saving you guys some money. All right, guys, before we get into some other comments, I want to continue with this George Pickens thread a little bit because George Pickens right now, he is not being utilized the way that most Steeler fans want to see him utilized. Right now, Matt Canada is kind of incorporating the quick passing game to help Kenny Pickett out, which is good, but right now, most of the time, George Pickens is an alert receiver, which means that he's usually running a deep route. And right now, the Steelers just aren't throwing the ball down the field as much. And we're seeing the frustrations boil over with George Pickens on the sideline right now. He was somebody that came into the league from Georgia. One of the knocks on him, one of the reasons why he was available where he was in the draft was because of behavior issues in the past. This is somebody that if he's not getting the ball, he gets frustrated incredibly easily. And right now, Matt Canada's not getting him the ball. And you saw that on the sidelines this past weekend where he was screaming and yelling at offensive coaches to get him the damn ball. And, I mean, I can't really blame him. He needs to be more involved in the offense. He can't just be that deep threat receiver. He's got such a wide array of skill sets. He's a great route runner. If you're Matt Canada, you have to take advantage of that skill set more often. But the good news is I think Canada and the Steelers offense is going to incorporate him into a much better role moving forward. All right, let's get into the next comment here, which comes from Twin Dragon 56, who says, I would give him a C for the Saints, but he gets an F for the Bengals, Colts, and Atlanta games. You're telling me he deserves something higher than an F when he didn't even call a single play that gets our best playmaker, Pickens, the ball, got us into the red zone 6 times and only scored a touchdown once? And the Colts game where we scored 4 field goals in the red zone. And he goes on to continue to say, why in Atlanta did we run jet sweep 5 times? I agree with that one. With our final few games, he better make some schemes that gets Pickens more involved and gets the ball to either Pickens or Freiermuth when we are in the red zone. We can't look at this offense as a C or higher for Canada when we scored 5 field goals and 1 touchdown in the red zone. And for me, I absolutely agree with the part of this where Canada and this offense needs to do a better job in the red zone. Right now, they're scoring, since the bye, they're scoring at about a 50% clip, just over 50% in the red zone, which is okay, but it's about where league average is, right? There's missed opportunities, and they're not targeting Pickens and Freiermuth. Those 2 guys are supposed to be the main red zone threats for the Steelers, and Matt Canada is not drawing up concepts to get them the football, and that is a big, big mistake and one of his biggest pitfalls as an offensive play caller. You got to get it to your big bodies in the red zone, and he's just not doing that right now. All right, we got one more comment here. It comes from Darrell McCord, who says, I give him a C. Too many weapons not to be better. Still getting fired at the end of the season. Maybe get more up-to-date NFL offensive coordinator or try Big Ben. Now, with Big Ben is somebody that's getting thrown around a lot here lately, saying that the Steelers should hire him. A lot of people obviously still have nostalgia about the good times with Big Ben Roethlisberger, but Big Ben has said in the past that he's not really interested in coaching in the National Football League, and I don't really blame him. He had such a long playing career. He wants time with his family. To go back into that arena and have that amount of stress on him, I don't blame him for not wanting that. But let me know in the comments right now, do you think Big Ben Roethlisberger would make a good offensive coordinator in the NFL with the Steelers or with anybody? Type Y for yes or type N for no. For me, I think he's somebody that would, with certain personnel packages, with certain players, I think he has a type of offense that he would run, and he would need a certain type of personnel to run it. But at the end of the day, I think he could be successful. Why not? All right, now let's get to my take on Matt Canada. And I'm someone that likes to take the good and the bad. I'm not somebody that likes to be like, this guy 100% sucks or this guy's 100% good. I like to look at both sides. So let's look at the good of Matt Canada first. Since the bye, the Steelers' offense has been undeniably better. They're scoring 8.25 more points per game, over 50 more yards per game. They're 50% on third down, which would currently rank 3rd in the National Football League. And then they're over 50% in the red zone, which would be about league average if you count the George Pickens drop or the Kenny Pickett. You remember in the Colts game where there was that miss in the end zone where Canada schemed Pickens open and Kenny just didn't hit him. So if you include that, I think they're 9 of 16 in the red zone since the bye, and that would be about league average. So this offense is undeniably better than it was in the first half of the season. I'm going to give Matt Canada credit for that, and here are the reasons why the offense is better. Number one, he's incorporated more power run concepts with Najee Harris. Before they were running almost exclusively zone run concepts, and it just wasn't working out. This is not an offensive line that's built to run a zone running scheme. They're more more of like a downline blocker. Just go and get your guy, just put a hat on a hat and just go at it. And ever since they changed to a more power-centered run game, they've been so much better. Najee Harris has really emerged as that true running back one in Pittsburgh. Jalen Warren's had some success as well. And then also he has incorporated more quick game concepts are centered around Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson is one of the best separators in the National Football League, and right now Matt Canada's focus is getting him open. Now, you can certainly make the argument, like we said earlier, that you got to get George Pickens open. You got to get him his touches too, and then the same thing with Freiermuth. But right now, Matt Canada is really utilizing Deontay Johnson in a good way, and one of the ways he's doing that is that he's attacking the middle of the field more often. When it was Mitch Trubisky, and in the first half of the season, it was almost exclusively routes that were developing on the outside of the numbers. Now they're incorporating more in-breaking routes, which gives the team more yak opportunities. Right now, the offense is really doing a much better job, but in a second, I'm going to tell you why the Steelers should still fire Matt Canada at the end of the season. But before I do that, it is the Christmas season, guys. It is the season of giving, and I want to give something back to you guys because I appreciate the heck out of you, Steeler Nation. So if you go follow me on Twitter, at Jack_Sperry, you will automatically be entered to win a free Steelers jersey of the player and color of your choice. If you're already following me on Twitter, you're already entered to win this jersey. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and supporting Steelers Talk, and Merry Christmas, guys. All right, now let's get into why Canada should still be fired, in my opinion. Right now, there's really 4 key pitfalls for Matt Canada, in my opinion. Number one is that the play calling is still super predictable, right? We have about a couple of different formations we like to run, and we have a couple of different plays that we like to run, and defenses know when we're in a certain formation, we're running a certain play, and at the end of the day, that's just not a sustainable model for success in the National Football League. The whole point of having a good offense in this league is variability, having a certain amount of variability in your sets. You know, when you're in a formation, the defense has to respect everything. Right now, that's not the case for the Pittsburgh Steelers. When we're in a certain formation, the defense knows we're running a certain play, and that's just not a sustainable model for success for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number two, he still runs really weird and ineffective plays, right? All the jet sweeps, all these weird screens, the shovel pass that he likes to throw in every once in a while, it just doesn't work. Just stick to what works, Matt Canada. Don't try to be creative. Don't try to be unique. Don't try to be crazy. Just do what works in the National Football League, man. Like, seriously, don't get too cute. And then third, he isn't utilizing George Pickens enough. We talked about this earlier in the show. You got to get him more involved on in-breaking routes, right? Out-breaking routes, anything, intermediate, short. Don't just send him out on an alert route on every single play and expect him to get the football when you're not even trying to throw the ball deep on most occasions, right? You need to have a bit more variability in how you're using George Pickens, and right now they're just not doing that enough. And then finally, the red zone play calling is still shaky. It needs to get better. He needs to target the people that he should be targeting in the red zone, namely Pat Freiermuth and George Pickens. Those are your big bodies. Those are your good hands catchers, and you need to target those guys. You can't be going to Deontay Johnson, who isn't the best hands receiver in the red zone. Can't be doing that. You can't be designing concepts to Connor Hayward. As much as I love Connor Hayward, and he got a touchdown last week, you got to be designing these concepts for Pat Freiermuth and George Pickens. They need to be your bread and butter in the red zone, and he just doesn't get that right now. So at the end of the day, when you combine all of this stuff, in my opinion, Matt Canada has improved significantly. The offense has improved significantly. And right now, the Steelers have a really good chance to go on a run late in the season. But it's not enough. There's too many of these pitfalls that he has. There's too many flaws in his scheme for me to be like, yes, let's bring him back for another season. I want somebody that's going to be bringing a kind of a new school approach, someone younger, someone that's not in Tomlin's circle. And here are the guys that I would be willing to bring in. Number one on my list, Darrell Bevell, the QB coach from the Miami Dolphins. He has over a decade of offensive play calling experience. He's going to Shanahan University right now with Mike McDaniel in Miami. That's one of the best offenses in the National Football League. I want that kind of offense with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think Kenny Pickett could be really successful with that type of offense, but any of these other guys on the list as well, I would really like to see for the black and gold. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's show. If you are a real one and made it to the end of the show, type "Here we go" in all caps to let me know that you were here. All right, Yinzers, that's going to do it for this one. Until tomorrow, peace, guys.